Crawl around. That's so funny. Oh my
Hi everyone, welcome to JCRC Rally for 2019. Alright, okay, so I'd like to apologize for the long delay in the election process. Okay, but finally today's day, right? Today you'll be hearing all the candidates for the various positions. If you look at the Facebook page, the channel here Facebook page, you will see what they're running for and the candidate profile. Okay, but today you'll be able to hear directly what their goals are, what their motivations are for the next academic year, and at the end of the session, you'll be able to ask them some questions. Okay, Trevor, next. Trevor, next. Next. Okay, so this will be the sequence of the speeches later. So first, we have the Vice President candidates, Wesley and Ian. Okay, as you can see, Wesley is currently on exchange, so we have him on Skype call now. You will see him on the top right corner. Right. Followed by Amos as Sports Director, Kang Wei as Performing Arts Director, Roy as Student Affairs Director, Media Director will be Sean Yue Hong, and lastly, the Finance Director will be Ching Tat. Okay, their proposals will give a short speech first, followed by their own speech, and lastly we'll end with the Q&A session. Okay, next. Okay, so first up, can we have Benjamin Koh to be the proposer for Wesley?
Like this. Hello. Hi. Okay. For the interest of time, I'm told I only have 1 or 2 minutes. Okay. So I'm going to propose for Wesley. As you can see, the candidate on the Skype. Okay. Because I know Wesley together as freshmen. Both of us were in rag floats, and then in these 2 academic years, we have worked together in 2 rags. Captain, he being the truck captain, and I'm in track. And then lastly in DP. So I think over the 2 academic years, knowing Wesley as a person is that he's a very initiative person, proactive, people-oriented and motivated. Okay, so these are the 4 pointers that I want to talk about. So first of all, initiative as in like, this is my observation in 2 years in RAC. First year as a freshman and then second year as a RAC float seat. So I can testify that for Wesley, right, like in terms of managing RAC people and like bonding a freshman, so I feel that he's one of the seniors that I can really look towards to in terms of getting things done when I was when we were freshmen together and when during this academic year. Okay, then proactive. I think this one is quite needless to say. Like you see his presence around, his voice is like perpetually heard everywhere, in every corner. So that's something that I think everyone can testify to. People oriented, again, it's very self-centered. So I think that's something that we all know that who Wesley is and what kind of person he is. Okay, then lastly is motivated. I think this is something I want to touch on for today. I think the role that he's going for today really is one to be very motivated in fulfilling that whole entire academic year. So the role that he has chosen, right, I think motivation is one of the most important things for this requirement. Okay, so because one particular thing that I really remember that he stepped out and worked hard towards me was DP. So I think you all remember that at the start of the year, he actually said that why he joined DP and he felt the sense of community. And I mean, for him to step out from this comfort zone for the almost 2 years to try out dance was something that really caught me and in a sense, it left a very significant impact in my life, and I feel that for what he has done and stood up and tried to accomplish, he's really remarkable. So yeah, today I'm just going to recommend Wesley for the Vice President position. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ben. Alright, can we have Wesley to give his speech?
Hi guys, can you guys hear me? Okay, So firstly, thank you, Benji. Thanks for being so full of surprises. Okay, so instead of starting with my name and what I'm running for, at which point you probably tune me out and start looking at your Insta. I'm going to tell you about my favorite memories from hall so far. It was last year's culture night where my blog came out with a performance about IHG that's inspired by a Japanese game show. It was really stupid, but before the performance, everyone was like, including ourselves, the blog members, were really doubtful about how we would do, and we're all just ready to put our faces away. But when the music started and when things started falling into place, suddenly I got the goosebumps and I felt so happy doing it, because even if it's going to be embarrassing, we're going to be doing it like together. So we completed the performance, and that certainly went as one of the dumbest things we did. So hey, that was dumb. Yes, but it was fun too, and the main reason why it was fun was because even though we have like different frequencies among the people in our blog, but we all still did it together as one. And that was the moment I fell in love with hall, and we do things together, and you don't just find that anywhere. Okay, I'm Wesley, year 2, previously B block, and I'm running for VP internal. So one of the main reasons why anyone will run for JCRC is definitely going to be because they want to give back to the hall they love so much. I'm running for vice president because I want everyone to enjoy hall as much as I did. I enjoyed year 1 and half of year 2 in Eusoff. And then I spent the other half of year 2 FOMOing in Korea. And now, I think before I receive more from hall, it's about time I give back to her. During the last 2 years, or maybe 1.5 years, I've prepared myself to serve hall by taking on many roles in different aspects of hall life. I've spent my time as a sport captain, expats fundraising head, as well as Eusoff Works main com, and as well as other many CCAs, learning about the everyday running of the hall and internalizing what we as residents can do to make things better. If I'm elected vice president, I will stand beside your president, whoever he or she is, offering support and stepping in when he or she is not able to or requires help. I'll sit in the JCRC and get actively involved in internal hall events, such as Gel Camp, which sets the tone for Eusoff's academic year, and Tea, which adds the beautiful ending to our year. So as VP, it is also important to be as open-minded as possible to all the concerns of the residents, so that the JCRC does not get too carried away with fulfilling our hard goals and neglect the environment that we are living in. So those who know me might say, Wesley, this is not your style. I'm not denying anything, but after all, Eusoff is an incubator for me to step out of my comfort zone and maybe realize something in me that may not have been present previously. So believe me on this, to listen to your concerns, I will do my best to be as open as Weilie's room is to girls. Okay, jokes aside, VP will really be the position for me to understand the concerns of all Eusoffians and for me to bring them up, to discuss on the table, even if the president or majority of the JCRC disagrees. Because the role of a VP is definitely not a dog for the president, but a watchdog for the Eusoff community. I'm asking for your vote for VP, and I love this hall and I want us all to build memories we'll remember and treasure forever. Thank you. It must have been a nightmare to see my face on the screen like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Wesley. Okay, can we have the proposal for our next vice president candidate? Kevin, do you give your speech? Hello. Okay, let me begin. I'm Kevin Yong from D Block, and I'm the proposer for Keith for the VP position. Gary, who is unable to be here, was to be seconder. Yeah, Gary's behind now. I'll keep my speech short. So, okay, for me, I didn't have many opportunities to work with Keith directly this year, but he was part of the audio wing in Eusoff Works, which Gary has led. So, I would like to speak on Gary's behalf first, and after that, I'll tell you why I think why Keith can be the right man for the job. Okay, so this is from Gary. Gary met Keith during sports camp last year, even though Keith was not in his OG. It was due to Keith being known to be an enthusiastic freshman during engagement camp. And after that, they were also block mates, and subsequently, Gary took him as an audio wing member. Gary said Keith did not once fail to meet his expectations when doing his duties in audio wing, and during the year, Keith always tries his best to reach out
to the other members and made it easier for the other freshmen to feel at ease in the committee. His positive attitude in the committee and his willingness to work more, even though some of the work might be boring, and he also was willing to learn and probe further in order to ensure he was well equipped for the skills required to serve. Moreover, after each event, he also gave constructive feedback to make the next event better. Having Keith in the committee was definitely a value add to the committee, and his contributions were also quite substantial. Based on the working experience with him, Gary knows that Keith will be able to contribute to the Eusoff committee and bring it to greater heights. Okay, thanks Gary, bye-bye. Okay, now it's my turn. I'll just keep it short. Okay, personally, I only have worked with Keith during a few events and when I sat through during audio wing meeting. I have found him to be reliable as he is alert and always takes up the ownership to do whatever he does. He also thinks ahead and seeks to make improvements whenever he can. And also, even though he might not have the most knowledge of Eusoff matters, but with his attitude and habit of finding out and preparing meticulously, and with the passion to make things better, I believe that he can and will be able to do his duties as VP well. The difference between him and some of you sitting out there who want to make Eusoff better is that it's presented here as him standing in for elections. He has shown hunger for improvement and has already taken the first step in wanting to serve. So now I'll leave it to you to decide whether you want to have someone you can turn to in the next academic year. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Okay, let's invite Keith to give his speech.
Can you hear me? Test. Okay, that was touching. Thanks, Yom. Let's back the speech. Okay, so good evening, everybody. And, so good evening. Good evening, everybody, masters, RS, and fellow students. My name is Keith, and as you all know, I'll be taking on the role as Okay. So this year, 2019 was a good year for Eusoff. We excelled in sports by bringing the IHG championship home, and the performing arts actually was well established, especially through TP. Therefore, as a VP, I want to focus more on the little intricacies and cultivate the culture of Eusoff to create a Eusoff identity. Otherwise, if people stay in hall just for friends and just to have a place to stay near school, then what makes us different from any other hall like PGP? So little things like the hall experience is something to work on now, and to give opportunities to build more memories during the hall, your life in Eusoff is something I'm pretty sure you all can relate to. So another goal that I would like to set for Eusoff is to promote the smaller CCAs like Greencom or Eusoff Works, and to recognize their skills and abilities of this community. Because as you all know, dance, performing arts, and sport this year was, to be honest, is actually they excelled a lot this year. So I felt like all these smaller CCAs deserve some light in during this ceremony. Yeah. So best still is if we can promote these CCAs not just within Eusoff but outside Eusoff as well. So it does work towards our own identity for people to know us, even not just within Eusoff but outside Eusoff as well. So to summarize it all, my vision is to bring Eusoff to greater heights, not just through the substantial things like performing arts or sports. Of course, we need to maintain these standards next year, but also not to forget that there are still many other aspects of Eusoff Hall that we simply cannot neglect. Other than the visions and goals that I have, this of course cannot be attained without a strong team within JCRC. So before bringing Eusoff up, JCRC itself must be motivated and bonded so that they can work well together to achieve a common goal for Eusoff. And as electing for VP, and if I do get the VP role, being able to interact and drive people and bring people together, I must keep the team motivated and close. Thereafter, as a VP, I also must serve as a neutral and provide balance and fairness, not just within JCRC but among the communities. I wish to create a common place for the different communities to work together rather than having conflicts all the time. Therefore, I understand that each committee in Eusoff will have their own vision, and as a VP, I feel that it's my role to take opportunities like jail, for example, to deconflict such things and put everybody on the same page.
Yeah, so I must be influential, of course, to people in Eusoff so that the president, whoever I'm going to work with next time in future, can focus on inter-hall matters and we have an ease of mind for intra-hall matters, which the internal VP will support. So overall, my idea is to minimize the conflicts among committees and to achieve a better outcome. Also, my motivation actually to stand here today and talk to you guys is seeing things that can be improved in Eusoff and knowing that I can help facilitate all these improvements. Well, simply ask why not, especially when I'm just a year one. Because I think my motivation is stronger since I have more friends that's going to go to year two, number one, and number two, it's also it's good to have a freshie's point of view when it comes to discussing matters because, well, I spend most of my freshie times in and actively participated in Eusoff Hall activities. Therefore, I felt like my insights and point of view can be a good input to the JCRC committee. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Next. Next. Okay, can we have the proposer for Song Kai to come and give his speech?
Hi friends. Okay, I think for the next finance director, you can consider investing something into the mic. Okay, dear friends, I'm Song Kai from A Block. Today I would like to nominate Ian Chin for the position of the Honorary General Secretary for the 32nd JCRC. I know Ian from the bass section of choir when I was a bass sectional leader and a choir conductor last year. You can tell from his face that he is the kind of meticulous guy that you really want to have in your committee. Although he is new to choir, I really appreciated how he took extra effort to have self-practices and approach me when he has any queries. During the sectionals, he has also actively helped others. After one semester, I have safely trusted the bass section to him, as he knows what we should achieve and have concrete plans to clinch that goal. I believe this is some of the qualities that you like to see on a JCRC member. With experience in expats and use of voluntary corps, not only does he have the kind heart to lend a helping hand to the people in need, he also understands the needs of our voluntary service CCAs. And with works done in Finance Com, Ian has proved himself to be able to handle details of paperwork, a perfect quality for the Honorary General Secretary. You may ask the current Finance Director, Sandra, for confirmation. And as the media director for the previous year, I know just how much video coverage Ian has done for IHG and was quite astounded by it. Without a true love to Eusoff and Eusoffians, I don't see how that is possible. My dear fellow sportsmen and sportswomen, Ian understands the thrill and the excitement of winning IHG just as much as you do. And this year, let's talk about his time as a head of choir. Being in the choir for literally all my time in Eusoff, I have witnessed just how shared it can be to manage regular trainings for close to 40 people, liaise with various events committees, and handle all admin works and logistics. Comparing the struggles from generations of choir heads, I have to say that Ian has done a great job in upholding the energy level of the whole choir. For performing arts people, you know how tiring it can be to go for all the battings, sound checks, rehearsals, full dress rehearsals, curtain calls, and whatsoever. But leading by example, Ian is always able to influence people around him positively. Not that he won't get tired. Ian is the kind of person that will always give 100% to what he loves, although he knows that he will be 120% tired afterwards. In addition, with his solid planning and funding, I'm really heartening to see that we have a steady batch of maincom members both this year and the coming year. So in a nutshell, small but full of enthusiasm and passion, just as the Chinese say, 浓缩的都是精华. With his hands-on experience on various aspects of hall life, plus his personal qualities. I'm sure that Ian is able to devote his passion to JCRC and, most importantly, to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Song.
Hello.
Hello.
Actually, can you not use the mic? Hello, my name is Ian, and I'm the current Eusoff choir head. The JCRC position that I'm running for is the Honorary General Secretary. A little bit about myself. I'm a Year 2 international student from Malaysia, studying civil engineering for 2 years. I came to Singapore approximately 2 years ago, and Eusoff Hall has been a home. So, what made me decided to run for Hon Sec for JCRC or JCRC in general? So, being the choir head this year has allowed me to take up leadership roles in Eusoff Hall, and during this journey, I learned that I'm able to lead, and I want to be a part of the next batch of the JCRC and lead the next batch of Eusoffians. I believe that I'm well suited for the role of Hon Sec, as it is the role of the listener. I view myself to be an empathic listener, and being the JCRC member, which has the least specific job scope, I will be able to spend more time listening to the needs of every Eusoffian in every aspect and help the JCRC team make suitable and right decisions for the betterment of Eusoff. My visions for the upcoming batch of JCRC is to create a professional image of the JCRC and increase the presence of the JCRC in not only behind the scenes actions but also within Eusoff events. I believe that a whole Eusoff JCRC member should strive to become an inspiration and role model for every Eusoffian, inspiring Eusoffians to strive for excellence and ultimately making Eusoff a better place. The JCRC member should be reliable and approachable to become a pillar of support for every Eusoffian. But to achieve that, first, the JCRC should obtain the trust and belief of every Eusoffian. Therefore, the importance of a professional image. By putting forth a professional image, the JCRC is able to create a trustworthy figure and form bonds with the Eusoffian population, enabling us to obtain unfiltered thoughts from the Eusoffian, having a better understanding of both the majority and minority stances in Eusoffian itself, ultimately achieving balance in whatever decision we make as a team. So to obtain this trustworthy image, I believe that it is very, very important to increase the presence of JCRC by creating platforms where JCRC members are able to express themselves in front of Eusoffians, inspiring them, and also provide clear channels whereby Eusoffians are able to give feedbacks on anything relating to Hall. If I were to get elected, I will, in addition to my Hon Sec duties, I will also try my best to involve myself in every aspect of Eusoff and provide a second opinion for JCRC in charge. I will also make sure that every Eusoffian voices are heard, and I will strive to fight for what I think is right without any biasness. Last but not least, if any of you knew Dong, the Aka head, which I saw behind, there's something that he always likes to mention. He always likes to say, don't think what Eusoff can give to you, but think about what you can give to Eusoff. I believe that I can contribute towards the cause and create necessary changes for the betterment of Eusoff. I am going to admit that the journey is going to be very, very challenging, as I am an introvert, one of Hall's contributing phantoms. But I'll take this opportunity to improve myself alongside my potential JCRC members and strive for excellence of Eusoff Hall. In summary, vote for me for Hon Sec. You won't regret it. Thank you.
sorry. VP sorry. Vice President.
Hello. Okay, I'm proposing for Amos to run for Sports D. So a little backstory is I know him since when he was a freshie in softball. So I believe that he's the best candidate for Sports D, not because he's the only one there, but for the following reasons. The first one is he's highly motivated for the sports that he plays. From year one, we can see that not just in soccer, but also in softball and track, that he trains very hard and he's do his best for everything that he do. He do his best. And the next thing is he cares about not just the sports that he's in, but also all the other sports in hall. As this year, during my time supporting the matches, he's always there for all the matches as well and caring to support his friends for all the different matches, be it important or not so important matches. Another thing is he's in CMC as well as SPETS. Hence, from his leadership roles in all the cultural scene, he's able to fully balance between the hall scene as well as the cultural scene. As such, we will not have a sports scene that is just everything is about sports, but you will have a balance so that Eusoff can be a better place. The next thing I think is cause actually that's all. Just let him talk more about it. Thanks.
Okay, good evening, Eusoffians. I'm Amos, and I'm running for the role of Sports Director for the next academic year. Yeah, so a bit more about myself is that I'm currently residing in B Block, and I'm a year 2 applied mathematics student. Yeah, and then as shown on the screen, these are some of the commitments that I've had since year 1. And I believe that the mixture between my involvement between sports, culture, and also social services has actually allowed me to gain a different perspective about hall matters and to also understand the hall better as a whole. Okay, so the main question is why am I running for sports director? I want to continue the legacy that the previous sports Ds, the captains and SMCs have put in place and ensure the continuity of their work. And also to continue to work with the PAD to ensure that the hall is no longer seen as just a sports hall, or at least work towards that. And of course, my main goal as a sports director is to ensure that Eusoff gets back the title of IG champions again, but also not forgetting that we should also enjoy the process while at it. We'll seek to find the best conditions and welfare possible for athletes. During my 2 years in Eusoff, there's one thing that I would like to improve if I were to be elected as sports director. It's actually the support for one another, especially shown in the banner ref and hype this year, and also the ISG match support. Although it might be hard to come up with something that is foolproof right now, but rest assured that I will definitely be working very hard with the SMC heads and also the main com to find something to resolve this. Okay, and also I foresee that sports and culture is going to be a huge debate, and I'm sure that the incoming PAD will actually agree with me that ideally that we want to get rid of this stigma of being just a sports hall. And from the point of a captain and also being a main com member in CMC, I think we have come a very long way during the past year to shy away from this stigma. We have seen many sports-oriented people venturing out and trying new things within cultural groups and DP, and likewise for cultural people to attempt new sports that they've never done before. And also, we have this talented group of people who actually excel at both, and we should really just keep this up and encourage more to do so. To conclude, I will make use of all my experience from being both in sports teams and also CMC, and work towards bringing the hall to greater heights and making sure that this home away from home will be an enjoyable one and a pleasant experience for all. Thank you.
Hello. Hi everyone, I'm Tammy. I'm the D block head, co-band head with Roy and Roy's only hall friend. Roy and I have worked together in year 1 in Block Com, and he's my co-band head and the best one I could ask for. Before I start praising Roy and raising his ego, I'll take this bit to thank Leanne, our current SAD. She's a hard worker and really committed to playing her role well. And on behalf of all the blockheads and HMC, I want to say thank you for all the effort you put in. We're really lucky to have you. Can I have a round of applause for Leanne? Thank you. Okay, now back to Roy. When Roy told me he wanted to run for SAD, I told him there's no one else I'd rather take on this responsibility. Roy is a diligent, reliable, and hardworking guy. Day in, day out, Roy is trying to make a difference where he is. In my personal experience, when working with Roy, he's sensitive enough to know what I need or what I can't do and feels in the role. He's also the kind of guy that values your opinion, knows that people are stronger as a team, and is intentional about making you feel understood and important. Roy is also highly meticulous. When there's something to be done, Roy knows. He doesn't know what slipshod means, and it's not just because his English is bad. Kidding. Roy goes above and beyond when fulfilling his role, and I have the honor of working and being friends with this guy. He's a gem that any committee would be immensely lucky to have. The best part is that he truly cares for the people. He will go the extra mile to make sure no one is left behind. With someone so capable and so thoughtful, I can rest assured that everyone under him will have the best experience, with him as his guardian angel. Yeah, as a student affair director, student affair director is supposed to care about your well-being, stand up for you, and make a difference. No one could care more than Roy. I believe that amazing things will come when you put your trust in the right people, and Roy is the right people. Thank you.
Test. Okay. Okay, so first, thanks Tammy, that was really touching. Okay? Okay, so let me just get on with my speech. I'll just cover points which I think she has not covered because I think everyone has listened to a lot of speeches already. Okay, so before I start, good evening to everyone who has come here in attendance. I'm Roy and I'm here running to be your SAD for the next academic year. And let me just go through three headers, okay? Me as a person, me as an SAD, and what I can bring to the table as a member of the JCRC. Okay? So me as a person, if I were to describe myself in 2 words, they will be go-getter. Like G-O-getter. Like I'll go and get stuff. Okay? I am someone who, once I set my mind to things right, I'm very proactive to get the things done rather than waiting for things to happen. And like she said, I'm not a fan of slipshod work. Like whatever I step into, I believe that I want to leave it better than how I entered it. You know, so I want to make a place greater than how I was introduced to the place. Okay? Continue on, me as a person, what I've done in hall, I just show some examples. Okay, I will just talk about my experience as a EHOC, VPD and prox head, as well as a band head. As an EHOC, VPD and prox head, I planned a hall-wide event. Okay, so this is for freshmen, and honestly, through this experience, I'm pretty sure the main comm and the rest of the committee will agree with me. I learned a lot about the hall and a lot about how things work between the hall and OSA as well. Okay, the authorities that are above, JCRC and everything Just how I learned a lot about how the JCRC needs to not only work with the rest of the hall, but how the JCRC might need to work with with the people above as well, like OSA. Okay? As a band head, I feel like I have really learned a lot. Okay? Why I wanted to be band head initially actually is because I felt like it's a place with so much untapped potential. The talents we have in hall are insane. Okay? And I felt like they are not given that many opportunities, and that's why I wanted to be band head, and I hope that I fulfilled. what I've set out to do as a band head. And just to show you how much of a person I am, okay, to me like promises very important. So whatever I say, I will keep to it, and like videos will be taken. So y'all can keep us to our word. Okay, so at the end of the day, if we don't keep our word, y'all can just come up to us. Like maybe at the midterm, y'all come up to us so that we still got time to change stuff in case we have not, in case some things slip our mind. Okay, so hope you guys remember that some of the things we say, keep us accountable to them as well. Okay, for me and Tammy, we are actually going to continue being band heads throughout the vacation period as well, which is something that we said. Okay, this is because during vacation, there's a lot of gigs for us as well. Like, okay, these gigs, for me, I see them as publicity for Eusoff. Okay, so people go for camps, they see what Eusoff band is performing, and they're damn legit, because Eusoff band is legit, quite legit. So, you see that, you want to come to Eusoff. That's what I wanted. Okay, so that's why me and Tammy decided to continue working as band heads throughout the vacation period, which is coming up. Okay, next, why me as an SAD? As Tammy mentioned, I've served in the D Block Com before, and I understand some of the struggles which the members may face. I also do think that SAD was an important role in the residential experience of Eusoffians. I've always been someone who's always wanted to be there for people and make their lives as good as it can be. Okay, I've also spoken to some of the blockheads, the current blockheads for each block, and got some of their views on certain stuff. So, yeah, so I won't share exactly what these are, but I did speak to them because I don't want to share what, it will be very long, okay? But definitely every one of these concerns will be addressed. I can assure the blockheads that. What I can bring to the table, this is my last point, okay? One thing I would definitely look into improving is definitely the safety and security of the residents. Okay, not necessarily improving, but having more attention placed into this, okay? I believe it's a necessity for everyone staying in this hall to feel safe during their stay. This includes reviewing the locations of CCTVs, making sure that they are placed smartly and strategically. Another thing I will look further into is the points allocation. I'm aware that there is some unfairness in the allocation of points, and there are many concerns about this. At the end of the day, it's going to be a combined effort among all CCA and group leaders, as well as the JCRC, to work towards this. But I feel like there's a lot that the JCRC can do about this. I feel like we're the... Okay, because at GEL, there will be a lot of opportunities for the JCRC to tell the leaders whatever we want to say. Okay, and just have a lot of discussion among the leaders. So I feel like this is a very good platform for this to be discussed again. And I feel like a midterm review actually will be very helpful to make sure that everyone is still in line, keeping everyone accountable to their word. Okay, so I feel like this is what I will follow up on, the points allocation. So I hope that I've managed to clarify any doubts of my passion or ability to fulfill the roles, the duties of this role. And yeah, thank you guys for your attention.
Hi. Okay, hi. Okay, hi. Okay, hi guys, I'm Gerald, and I'm here as a proposer for Sean, right here, as the media director of the 32nd JCRC in 2019-2020. Yes. So, as someone who has worked closely with Sean in SMC, CMC, and as his personal friend, I would like to say that I know Sean pretty well, and I believe that Sean has what it takes to be the media director for two reasons. So first and foremost, Sean is an extremely committed individual. Be it sports or committees, when Sean promises to invest his time and effort into anything, he delivers. He ensures that things are being met, his goals are being met, his vision is being shown to people. Yes. So when he was an SMC head, Sean had to juggle many commitments, such as CMC Locks member, badminton captain, and even external CCA such as his BZ run, if I'm not wrong, yes. So he was pushed to his limits during the IHG period because of the hectic publicity plan that was set out during the IHG period. But he never showed any signs of. He never showed. He never showed any signs of.
Your voice is loud enough.
Okay, I don't like.
So he never showed any signs of slowing down or giving up. He bottled all his worries and he actually pushed forward and continued guiding his team and pressed on as a leader, worker, and captain. So for his close friends, we all know Sean as someone who is like a machine, not stopping till work is being done, work is being completed, and work is not met to his expectations. So everyone knows Sean knows that he's someone who will never give any committee up, he'll never let you down, and he'll never run around to desert you. Next, Sean has the management skills needed to be a junior director. I think most of us know how amazing SMC Park has been this academic year under the leadership of Sean and Jess. So the amount of long-term planning of what to publicize, when, who, how, and all the new initiatives such as the daily updates, IAG banner, are all the efforts of these two people in the SMC committee. So as the media director, I'm certain that Sean can translate these skills from the SMC Park's head position to that of a media director and apply them effectively to be one very good media director. So as a friend, Sean is dependable and rational. Never fails to think things through thoroughly before making any decisions and is always present when his friends, committee or sport needs him. I can't say I know for sure what Sean has in his plans to deliver any. I can't say what Sean has and whether Sean has any plans as a media director. But one thing for sure is that I know that when Sean becomes a media director, he will bring Eusoff to greater heights, and he is a great leader of Eusoff. Thank you.
Thank you, Gerald. Hello. Okay, thanks, Gerald. I'm Sean, year 2 business, and I'm running for the role of media director. So, what is one reason that I really love about Eusoff is that whenever every day I wake up or I come back from class, it is something that I look forward to or what I really enjoy. I'm really not sure how many people share the sentiment as me, but it really provides me with a lot of opportunity to do what I like to do. It's also very fun that I get to plan and carry out what I really envision. And I know many freshies when they move up, they will share the same experience as me. I'm quite sure many of you have seen SMC Insta page. I think me and my community really put in a lot of effort, really push our creativity to the end, and I think really produce some pretty good results. Yeah, so next slide. Bro, next slide. Yeah, okay, so as you can see from SMC page, the pretty good results, I really want to translate this to the entire hall. So it's important also to work together with the various committees, Eusoff Works, and the various publicity comms. We're able to achieve this and also to bring the media scene to another level. I think it's a common fact that everyone knows that Shers and KR, their media scenes are generally among the best among all the halls. Yeah, but I believe based on this year, Chengxing really has built a very strong foundation. And I really want to build on that to bring the Eusoff media scene to a next notch. Yeah, so the next thing is, am I ready for the challenge? Next slide. So as you can see, graphic design is my passion. Yeah. Although I can't guarantee success, but one thing I can guarantee, I will guarantee effort and commitment. Because I believe that even if something new can be grind, can be through hard work, can produce good results. I cannot say I'm perfect in all sorts of media. I know my weakness, such as related to audio. Being in CMC logs, we have to learn how to do audio. I'm struggling every time we have to set up band equipment. So I know that's one area that I'm weak in. But I believe that with enough time to spend and hard work, I believe that things will pull through. Next slide. So, I believe I already acquired some of the necessary skills for this role. These are just some of what I did before. Previously, before I came to uni, I worked as a graphic designer part-time. Then after I came to Hall, I also took on various publicity or media sort of related roles.
So besides SMC publicity, in year 1, Eusoff, I was also in Eusoff Design Wing, where I really carried out a lot of the 60th anniversary designs. And also I was in the convening, IHG convening, and help out with the publicity of convening itself throughout the 6 halls. Outside of Eusoff, I also help out in my faculty business charity run, promoting and trying to boost the sign-up rates through the social media. And I think it really went through because we managed to sell out our 10K category for the first time in history. So lastly, I really hope that you all can place your trust in me to bring the Eusoff scene to the next level. And I really thank you for taking your time to listen to me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sean. Okay, can we have Melvin next to propose for company? Okay, sure, we'll do the other director first. Okay, let's agree to do a proposal for Yuhong.
Okay, hi guys, I'm Grace and I'm drama co-head this academic year, and Yuhong is one of my drama members, and he also stepped up to be one of my freshie directors for Drama Fest, so I can say with confidence that I know a few things about Yuhong as a member, as a co-worker and as a leader. But before I sell Yuhong to you guys, I just want to lay out 3 qualities which I think a good media director should have. I think that a good media director should have experience in publicity, have high standards, and be able to commit and deliver. So how does Yuhong fulfill all these criteria, right? Firstly, Yuhong is an experienced designer. As some of y'all may know, he designed things like the drama shirt, the floorball shirt, the Aki Camp logo, and you can go to his Instagram art.acrylics to see. He also handled the C-Vlog Insta page, so the C-Vlog Insta features, which are really pretty. So he's not new to publicity. But experience is without standards is like nothing, right? But fortunately, Yuhong has high standards because he's the kind of person to persist through multiple drafts just to find the right one. It was like this when he designed for the drama shirt and handled all my feedback and had to do all the revisions. It was also the case for Drama Fest when his play evolved a lot from the very first time I saw it during the first vetting. Even though he had no prior experience in directing, he did his necessary homework and took the initiative to ask his seniors on what he could do to improve. Because Yuhong, he always strives to be better and doesn't believe in just winging it. The media director vets Eusoff publicity stuff that go on internet, so we'll need someone with a designer's eye and someone who doesn't settle for anything less than excellent. So from my experience, I think that Yuhong is both competent and has high standards. And thirdly, for commitment, some of y'all might know that Yuhong's involved in a lot of things, but I can attest to the fact that Yuhong can commit. Apart from majoring in architecture and doing decently in school, he's able to juggle between 7 CCAs and still smile at you and offer help when you really need it. Like, he's super responsive, and I can rely on him for drama help because he knows that work is important. I'm also not the only one who thinks that he's capable because Yuhong was handpicked by his architecture seniors to be PD for this year's freshman orientation camp. I think that speaks volume of his competency. Surviving uni is not about knowing how to. Surviving uni is about knowing how to play the game and knowing how to prioritize. And even though Yuhong seems like he has a lot of things on his plate, I think that he has understood how to prioritize his work and to deliver without compromising quality. Overall, Yuhong is a people's person and will work diligently to achieve results. He's also generous with his efforts and passionate about media and publicity. So I hope that when you all decide on who you want our media director to be, you will consider how you want our hall to be portrayed and how who you want to trust to oversee our publicity. Because I think that Yuhong promises high standards and he knows what he's doing. Okay, thank you.
Do everything right very fast, every 10 minutes. It's so popular in an hour.
Hi, testing. So a bit shagged that the ending got a bit spoiled. But okay, thanks Grace for the introduction. So I'm here, as all of you know, to run for the position of media head. So just a quick introduction. Some things about me. I'm a year 1 architecture student. So with it, it means that I'm trained as a designer. And as all of you know, it's not an easy course. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of commitment. And frankly, half the time I'm in the studio. I spend more time in the studio than I honestly spend anywhere. And beyond that, the CCAs that I have are listed below. I'm in the swim team, I'm in rope relay, I took part in DP, and I stepped up as the DP dance IC for Dance 6. I did DP sets, working for the backdrop of DP. I did drama, and I actually directed a play, 10,000 Cigarettes. I'm an active member of Eusoff Works as a photographer, and last of all, I am an active member of the C Block Com. So the point of showing all of these is firstly just to demonstrate that I know what I'm doing, and that I have a variety of skill sets and a broad range of experiences that I can bring into this role. So my vision for Eusoff as a media director is to ensure that every single person gets the chance to have their moment in the spotlight, whether they are in sports, whether they're in performing arts, or whether they're in comms. It doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter where you're from. I want to capture every single moment, all those important little moments that you have, and show the best side that Eusoff has. So why vote me? If you really boil down the job of a media director, the media director's job is to ensure that Eusoff looks good. And that's precisely what I can do. I'm a photographer, I do it in my free time, I take freelance jobs, and as a design student, I know what looks good. And I bring this expertise into every job that I do, and I know how to present people in the best possible way, so that whenever you look at Eusoff, you will see the best possible front that you can give. But it's not just sports. I also recognize that while our sports are important, Eusoff is so much more than a sports hall. We have our comms, we have events, we have our performing arts. These are just some pictures, be it from La Soirée, DU, and Drama Fest. So back to my vision again, it is to make sure that everyone gets their moment in the spotlight, every single person. Beyond that, I'm also a designer, as mentioned. And something that's very important is what we wear when we go out to the field. So the attire that we're in matters. And just this year alone, I've already done 3 shirts. So I want to make sure that whenever we step up onto that playing field, whenever we step up on stage, whenever someone looks at Eusoff, we always present the best side of ourselves. In addition, I do have experience when it comes to pubs. If you were to look at the C Block, Cock Block Insta page, which is basically our C Block page, yep, that's right. I was in charge and tasked with doing the Humans of C Block series, which was a curated and coordinated series aiming to give every member of C Block a chance to shine. And beyond that, as Grace mentioned, I am the PD of ArchiID, the architecture camp for architecture freshmen next year. And as part of my role, I actually have to manage my own pubs team on the side. Meaning to say that not only do I understand the requirements of a media director and of a pubs team, I understand how it fits into the bigger picture of the larger organization. So, to be a media director isn't just one single job. It is to manage every single publicity comm for every single comm. And it is not just the sports, it is the performing arts, it is the events, it is every single person, every single sport, every medium. And in order to do this, what you need is a person who has one foot firmly in the sports and one foot in the culture, with the eye of a designer and the skill set necessary to make sure that we present the best possible versions of ourselves. And I think that I can be that person. So why vote for me? Because when we look good, Eusoff looks good. And when Eusoff looks good, we all look good. Thank you.
Hello. Leon. Okay.
Hi everyone, I'm Melvin, the blockhead. So I'm going to talk about how me and Sang we met and how he's the best person for the position. So I met Kang Wei during our freshman days, during a rec. I think he needs no introduction. Louder, it's too soft. Hello. Yeah, it's too soft. Hello. Is it too? Oh, okay. Okay, so I think Kang Wei needs no introduction as he's been actively involved in Eusoff. So, for example, being the junior drama director last year, being the drama head as well for both the CCA and DP this year. He has brought a lot of value-added activities to Eusoff, such as Halloween night, where I got to work with him. By the way, Halloween night is the brainchild of Kang Wei and Grace. So he really takes initiatives in these type of activities, such to raise funds for Drama Fest. So from the props to the plot planning to the manpower, Kang Wei handles all gracefully, and I think he's a really solid person to work with. Last of all, we all know that Amor did a really great job this year, so she left a pretty big shoe to fill. So being his neighbor, I think Kang Wei's feet are pretty big as well. And I think metaphorically, yeah. Kang Wei is fit for the job. Okay, thank you.
Hello everybody. I don't know why my slides are not there. I don't know, very sad. Okay, but thank you for Melvin for sharing. Okay, everybody, thank you for coming down for the rally and listening to all of our speeches. I'm Kang Wei, and I'm running for Performing Arts Director in this upcoming academic year. And this is also the probably time where any of you all will see me running. Okay, for those who don't know me, I'm a Year 2 Pharmacy student in E Block. So some of my commitments in Year 1, notably dancing in rap, a cappella, band, expats, SPT, EHDP, JDD, and also a TM for Frisbee last year. In which I became expats FR head also, EHDP drama director, and also one of the founding heads of Eusoff Drama with my co-head Grace in Year 2. Yeah, so why run for PAD now? So actually when Matt Jong asked me and Amor to run for PAD last year, I felt that I wasn't ready. And I already had drama director for EHDP in my hands, which may lead to a fall in quality in my ability to focus as a PAD in this upcoming year. So there was much that I felt that I haven't learned and tried in hall, like planning events, being a leader in Eusoff, and also working and attending meetings with other people outside of my comms or CCAs. I wasn't confident enough and I wasn't confident enough to step up into this role, which was important for me to lead and improve on our cultural groups. However, I felt that I have grown a lot during this year, given all my opportunities to step up in Year 2. In Year 2, as Eusoff Drama Head, I worked with Grace to try and experiment with a lot of new ideas. It made me flexible and also built my confidence in picking up new roles and communicating my ideas well with other people. I hated Nightmare, an event which Eusoff Drama and HMC put up together for the first time. Through that event, I worked with all the block heads, block comms, and also the end with Amor, which taught me so much and made me feel so supported. I was also very happy to see everybody enjoying themselves, even though we were so tired and packed up everything by 2 a.m. that night. I'm also in band this year with my amazing band members. I'm glad to be part of band, which has seen many improvements this year, such as internal band performance, and also we have a lot of new band equipments. Yeah, I'm thankful for Danny and Wei Zhang for trusting me during DP, allowing me to express my creativity while I directed the acting and also later on wrote part of the script while working with all the different subcom heads. After being exposed to so much cultural opportunities in Eusoff, I felt that my cultural brain juices are strengthened and ready to be used to lead the next batch of Eusoff cultural leaders. Running for PAD isn't a single rash decision or choice made within a day, but it's been something that I've been really thinking about ever since last year. Throughout the year, Amor has came up with so many new opportunities for the cultural scene. There are so many new initiatives done up by CMC, ABCDD, which is a cappella, band, choir, dance, and drama, and herself, such as Inter-Hall Dance Battle, which was held yesterday, and also Coffee, which was an appreciation event we had for all of our LYLC seniors. Eusoff was really blessed to have her as our PAD, and I think that we should all thank her for everything that she has done for us. That being said, it is also a reminder for me that as I run for PAD, I need to live up to everybody's expectations that she has set. I will continue her legacy with giving my full support to CMC and all the cultural CCAs in Eusoff. This year, I feel that the key role of a PAD is to work in excellence and improve on what we already have created and done this year. Even though the cultural scenes got more prominent this year, I felt that there was a part of Eusoff that the public that hasn't really jumped onto the boat with us, and there's still much more ways to improve in our support. Not just in culture, but in every other single Eusoff events. Support is especially important in performing arts because art is not complete until it's shared. Without support, all the hard work we put into honing our craft and expressing ourselves will not be shared. If I get elected into JCRC, I promise to work closely with the JCRC to ensure a smooth and enriching experience for all our fellow Eusophians. As I close, I won't know and I might not be the best person for this role, but I'm sure that I will put my heart and my best effort to ensure that all of my cultural friends in Eusoff will be supported and flourish in this upcoming year. Thank you for all your support and your time.
Okay, so you all have heard like many speeches, so bear with me. Okay. So I first knew, I want to nominate Cheng Tak to be finance director. Okay. I first knew Cheng Tak before he entered Eusoff. Like both of us signed up for a track to represent NG in faculty games. Since then our friendship come a long way, lucky enough that we live in the same block and floor, as well as going for track training together. So through my interactions with Cheng Tak, I learned that he has the tenacity and responsibility when performing his duties. He takes the initiative in assisting the captains to help guide new runners in the sport for both faculty and hall games. So, moreover, his sociable character and willingness to help are justified by many people in both hall and engine. Beneath this cheerful, joking face of his lies a dependable and responsible Eusophian that we can trust. So, as a finance director is a person with a trait of responsibility in managing the funds involved, like Sandra. With his experience as a finance member in the committee, I believe he can fulfill the expectations set for him as the finance director. Thank you.
Test. So good evening everyone, I'm Cheng Tak, and as you all know, I'm interested in running for the finance director for this incoming JCRC. So to make things short, I just want to share about my motivation for running for this position, as well as my ambition for Eusoff in general. So my motivation for running for finance director stems from my current experience in finance committee. So finance committee has truly enriched my experience in Eusoff, as the sessions were always filled with laughter and joy. Although there may be times where we are down and we face difficulties in the processes, but we never allow these conflicts to affect us negatively. So one of the main issues that I may observe during my time in finance is that it takes a very long time for treasurers to get their reimbursements. So one of my main goals for Eusoff's finance community this coming year is to develop a more effective administrating system through effective communication, as well as cooperation and support from our fellow Eusophians, regardless of the role they play. So I'm aiming to look for new innovative ways to simplify not just the Excel file, but also the whole process, so that it's easier not just on the community's part, but also to facilitate a smoother process for the treasurers. So moving on, passion alone did not push me or stir me enough to try for these roles. I'm also lucky to have the encouragement of my friends around me, and also encouragement from the current finance director, Sandra. So through my term in finance, I realized that Sandra is a very responsible and trustworthy person. So although she's always joking, and she always makes sure we carry out our duties diligently, and to the point. So even though she's absent with her and busy with her other commitments, but she always makes sure that we have done what we need to do. So hopefully I can emulate her qualities and then bring the finance to greater heights. So moving on to my own personal experience in Eusoff. So besides with my sports, my track and football, and also whatever. So like this is my first time joining like a dance production this year. So I was lucky also to have a good choreo and also dancers around me. So it's a very unique experience for me as this is my first time taking part in a dance production, and I realized that this is only possible in hall. At the same time, I also take part in HRB where I had a chance to go talk to incoming freshies during open day. So like I felt that it was a very good platform for me to share with them eagerly about the experience and my fun time that I had in hall. So to me, Eusoff is really not just a place to stay. It's a place where it has become home to me and let me know my friends, friends who I can count on. So it epitomizes the familiar warmth of home and reminds me of the friendship that I have forged, the experience we have faced, the obstacles and difficulties that we have overcome together throughout this year. So most importantly, Eusoff is a place for us to grow and to try out new experiences. So I would like to be able to contribute to Eusoff Hall, not just through the finance comm, but also the various other positions that I may be undertaking in this coming year. So in addition to my personal goal for Eusoff, my vision for Eusoff Hall will be to foster better friendships between the different blocks, interactions and inclusivity, especially with the foreign students that every block may have. So I believe all this can be achieved by working closely together with the incoming JCRC, which all of you seated here have the power to choose. So thank you for your support and hope you all can choose wisely. Thank you.
Okay, so now that you've heard what candidates said, there will be the question and answer section next. Okay, but before that, you have a quick intermission, a short 5 minutes break. Alright. If you guys don't know, there's chicken wings at the back of the hall if there's any left. So yeah.
Hey, this is a fun part, guys. Don't leave it.
Yeah.
I hope you contribute to it.
I'm looking for you to go to it. I don't know.
Oh, she really kissed me more over there. Just now. Do you see her?
No, don't make it.
Would you ask him?
Yeah.
Everyone job.
Arena.
No, I think they go toilet or something.
Hello. There. Hi, Jimmy.
I'm waiting for you to open the body. No, she's doing.
Wait, everyone in the the FH can hear me.
Voice system thing first. Dude, the people at Sang got voice system. Yeah, that's right, but they'll have to like.
Have to over.
Don't ask me questions, people.
Hey, no problem. Stand up, ah.
What's that?
Yeah, but I got no break now, fuck.
I'm still a bit already. Why are you supposed to cut here?
I missed the best show, what else? I came late.
This.
Actually, one surefire thoughts like between studies and JCRC, which would you prioritize? Last year it was between your family and JCRC. This one between your studies and JCRC.
You must have SMC experience.
You must? I also didn't really have that sense of experience.
Match brand oh yes, okay, I can look.
But you're smoking. You want to move here? Right here. So also seems like a brand.
Hey, finance director. There's enough money
Okay guys, please come back to the FH. We'll be starting soon.
Let's move there.
Wait.
Okay, so we'll continue on with the question and answer session. So, few rules when asking questions, okay? So, if you want to ask a question, please ask one of my lovely election call member on the side, Remus, for the mic. Yeah, he'll pass you the mic if you want to ask a question. And please state your name, your blog, and who you're addressing the question to. So you can address the question to a single candidate, or multiple candidates, or you can address it to the whole floor, up to you. Alright? So without further ado, let's start the question and answer session. So if anyone like to ask a question, just raise your hand and we'll pass the mic to you.
Actually, we just start with a very simple question for all of you. Okay. What could you have done better than your predecessor?
Okay, so anyone want to answer the question first? Wesley.
So I start first.
Hello.
Okay, so I will start first. As you all know, this year's VP became Eusoff of the Year. That says a lot. Then I spoke to Bryna, spoke to Georgia Lee, spoke to Sandra. All of them are girls who worked with him before, yet none could find anything to bitch about. So that says even more. So having personally worked under the charge of Amos, as well as been to the gel camp that he organized, I would say that the bar for VP this year is set really high. There is actually really nothing that comes to mind other than to be able to assist the president to a greater extent, which actually just leaves a lot to be imagined. But I would say it's not a competition of what to see who is the better VP, who can better. Because after all, if I'm elected, I believe I'll work with his guidance to keep what was done well and work on whatever room there is for improvement. Yeah, that's it.
Actually, just to add on to what Wesley said, because okay, yeah, so just to add on to what Wesley said, because I went to ask Leah, I went to approach Amos also regarding the VP role like yesterday and the day before, I think. Yeah. So according to Amos, according to Leon told me that Amos actually did also a very good job in being a VP. Like he sold him until like he was amazing. I mean like Eusoff of the Year. So yeah, so I think one thing I also would like to actually take from Amos, from what Leon said, is actually Amos took the effort to actually interact with all the smaller comms and he knows what every comm is doing, regardless of like be it a small event or what, every action he knows, and he always gives his insight and his neutral point of view in everything. And he also always tries to deconflict problems between comms, so which is something that is really good, and I wish to do the same. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Keith. Anyone would like to answer Matt's question? Test. Okay, so I'm Roy, running for the role of SAD. So the previous SAD was, the current SAD is Lian. Okay, so I spoke to Lian and I spoke to the block heads because those are the people that Lian works most closely with. One thing, okay, I think what the SAD does, right? Like a lot of people don't get to see it. Okay, like maybe you might see what your block head does, but nobody gets to see what Lian does. And that's one reason I feel like Lian is quite underappreciated. So what she does is like all the small things. Okay, up to date, she does small things, but she does like big things as well. Like, okay, some things you guys don't know, right, is that she had very little that she could have started off with. Okay, so she really did, I think she did a fantastic job of like bringing everything she did to the next level, introducing new things. Okay, so back to the question, right? What I could improve is how she manages the blockheads. So from speaking with the blockheads and even Ian's perspective, she felt like she could step up more in terms of like her authority towards them. So, and also about how each block may be very unique in their own way. So addressing each block's concerns may need a very directed approach. So this is one or two ways that I will improve from Lian if I were to be elected as SAD. Thank you.
Hello. Okay. What I feel is the role for Chen Xing and for me will be a bit more different because Chen Xing she laid the foundation for the media scene. So when I come here, I want to build on it actually. So I do have some things in mind to do. One thing is actually may sound a bit 夸张, but what I intend to do is actually do like a competitive analysis. So what I intend to do is whatever you show media scene based on different comms, sports, culture, whatever, external like e-hop or internal, then I went research on the other halls how the other halls are doing, how they fare, then we compare. Then from there on, then I will see how I can work with the different publicity com and see how we can move on from there. But of course, there's also a limitation of how much I can suggest to the committees, because apart from Eusoff works, the respective comms are under their own committees and not under me. So what I can do best is really to show my feedback and what I can propose. And from there, it's up to them whether they want to feel over it or not. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I'm going next. I do disagree slightly in the sense that I feel that we shouldn't be comparing to other halls and that we should be our own standard. We should be Eusoff pubs, that's it. For what Shen Xing has done so far, I think it is a great effort and she has achieved a lot in setting up the groundwork. And as a designer, I want to build on that. And what I've learned throughout my time in design, throughout working pubs, throughout doing everything, is that two things matter for publicity, for media, and for design. And those two things are consistency and standards. So the first thing that needs to be done is to ensure that everything that is posted, no matter what com it's from, be it blog comms, be it SMC, be it CMC, or the main Insta page, the quality needs to be there. There needs to be a level of quality check to make sure that everything that is posted is the best possible version that it can be. And the second is consistency. It could be just down to the color scheme, the formatting, something simple as that. But I want to make sure that whenever someone looks at any Insta page from Eusoff, anything that is done by one of our comms, they can immediately say, oh shit, yeah, this is Eusoff. They know it at one glance. So consistency and standards. That's what I feel I can improve.
So before I say anything, I just have to say that actually the finance com this year has done a very good job. But so one of the few things that I feel like to value add on is to simplify the whole reimbursement process. So some of you may not know actually how the reimbursement process works is during every finance meeting, the treasurer comes down with the receipts that he or she wishes to claim, and then we can process it from there, and then we will pass it to the hall office for future processes. So how I feel that this is very time consuming is because we only hold it every Monday and Tuesday. So by the time the whole process is finished, it will take until the end of the week. So I'm looking forward to create an online form where treasurers can get to input their claims for the weeks first, so that finance com can prepare beforehand the forms needed, and then treasurers can come and submit their receipts at their own time into the boxes provided, so that we at the finance com at our own side can also process the claims at our own timing. So this is to ensure that treasurers have to rush down back from their training commitments and stuff just to meet the finance com timing, which is in this year every Monday and Tuesday 9 to 11 p.m. So this is to allow for more flexibility in terms of how people can manage their claims and also to expedite the whole process. Okay, anyone?
Hi. So I think HonJSec has one of the least specific job scope, as I mentioned earlier. So I don't think it's about comparing whether I can do better. It's what I feel that is needed is what I want to do as a HonJSec is not only doing my HonJSec duty, but also involve myself in everything, like in performing arts, in sports, and everything. When I say involvement, I mean like in events. I want to try to be there and give my own second opinion and stuff. So what I feel that I can do better is probably putting more time into many aspects of Eusoff. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, the main thing that I think Raymond has done a very good job for the past 1 year, and a lot of his efforts have not been really shown, and only very few people actually know what he does behind the scenes for all the sports teams, the captains, and within SMC itself. The one thing that I would like to improve on is that maybe it's not okay. Raymond is a very nice person in general, and then sometimes I feel that he might be too accommodating to everyone, and then it can be a struggle, and
Yeah, that's it for me. For me, I think just now my speech I say a lot of things that Amor have done, and it's really honestly very hard to be the next person after. But I feel that, like in my speech I said that she came up with a lot of new opportunities for culture, but then like some parts of them, like we need to adapt. As a new PhD, like I'm running for PhD, then if I get elected, then I'll try to improve on them. Because some of them, like we haven't get the full support from the Eusofians yet. Like some of the activities that she has planned out has not, like people sometimes they still say that they don't want to go and stuff. Yeah, so I want to improve on that. I think it can be better.
Okay, thank you guys. Anyone else has a question to pose to the candidates?
Hello. Okay, my question is for the two running for VP. So as we know, no one has stepped up for the position of president yet. So I want to know if, when deciding you all to run for VP in the first place, do you all ever consider running for president itself? And also, like, since you all are running for this position without knowing who your eventual president might be, so I know what your thoughts on like what you all would look for in a president, and if like you foresee any conflicts if it's not someone that you see yourself working with. You want me to repeat the question? Yes.
Yeah, Trevor, I think you say differently from Arun.
I am Arun.
Why I didn't step out in president first? I feel like because president has to be someone of already influential in Eusoff lah. So I don't want to use me being a president as an excuse, but I thought it would be better if I can support someone that's influential so that the impact will be greater. Yeah, and depending on who I'm gonna work with, of course, one thing that's very important is chemistry. Yeah, I think that is actually a priority because if there's no chemistry and you can't work with the person in the first place, then shit won't get done. Yeah, so I feel that chemistry is very important, and whoever steps up as press, hopefully I can work with her, and I actually can work with almost any kind of people. So yeah.
Okay, Aaron, to answer your first question, I think to be the president, it is to be the face of Eusoff because he has to be involved in many meetings outside of Eusoff with NUS people and even SCRC work a lot with them. So he really does have a lot of work to be done. And I feel that with whatever roles I've taken before, it might be too big a jump for me. Yeah, so like what Keith said, he's a freshie, so like it's really hard for him to just immediately jump into being a president. And also, honestly, it is the time commitment because taking on this role, I might have thought a lot about it, but I also know that it is really a big commitment, much less to be the president where you have to be everywhere. And I think Amos last year he made a very good point when somebody asked him this question as well. Why not be the president? He said that like you don't want to be a president where you are not where you're busy and you're not able to commit that much, as in to appear everywhere in hall. So you don't want to be a president where people don't even know your face. Yeah, and I think about working with whoever is the next president. This is where I disagree slightly with Keith lah. I just feel that yes, I agree. Chemistry does play a very, very big part. But I'm sure whoever that's elected will be more than ready, and eventually we'll find our working style. We'll have to adapt to each other, and that's where the chemistry will come. We don't naturally have to be naturally good to work with each other kind. Yeah, we will just eventually find a way to complement each other. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Trevor. Aaron, do you want to follow on that? Okay. I believe Master has a question.
Exactly the same question as Arun.
Okay. Alright, does anyone else have a question to ask the candidates? Okay, Raymond.
Hello, I'm Raymond, retiring sports dean. Okay, my question is about the hall spirit. So, why I think it's very important because there's no point having a lot of facilities and good stuff here, but then if the hall doesn't have any spirit at all, then it's as if there's no soul to fill the building. So, our hall spirit has been on the wane, it's petering out. If you don't believe me, let me give you some empirical evidence, because you all like hard facts and hard truths. So firstly, turn out for events. Like what Ima said, mass support is getting worse. What Kang said about cultural events, like the numbers are not increasing. It has come to a point that we have to make events compulsory for people to turn out. Secondly, you have issues with leadership succession. People are not willing to step up to take over the next head. And thirdly, also, you see after the supposed big events are done by ISG and DP, then you see the hall is pretty quiet. Like I think Yue Hong said in his Facebook thing, like the hall is practically a ghost town. So my question is, do y'all think this current level of hall spirit is okay? Like, are y'all willing to let it be the status quo? If not, what do you think should be done to rejuvenate the hall spirit?
Okay, thank you, Raymond. Anyone like to? Okay, I think this is something that I strongly agree. Okay, as a year 2, right, I think can tell a bit also like the spirit is like not the same as last year. And I spoke to some year 4s and they said they feel this even more that the spirit, the vibes in hall is just not the same. It's like one evidence is really a turnout. So I feel like this one contributing factor, maybe not the only factor, maybe not the main factor, but one definitely something that's a factor is people being more concerned about their grades, which is reasonable. Grades is most important than your student first, and you want to focus more on your studying than coming for hall events, all this kind of stuff. So I think one platform where people may be able to be assured that these few hours that you spend on hall stuff, right, are not going to affect your grades is through your peer mentors. Okay, I think the selection of these peer mentors must be correct also. It's not as much as your peer mentor is really for your academic stuff, right? I think more so is to balance out your academic stuff and your hall stuff. So this is one way, like your peer mentors. And another way I think is, for example, match support, all this kind of stuff, right? I think one way we can improve on it is, like, since Eusoff is always going to be gonna make it pretty far, and I believe that we will always make it pretty far in every single sport that we play. When we get to the later stages, where I feel like support may be even more important, we can maybe get a mascot to come down, which I think is pretty cool. Like, you see a mascot, then people like, Insta story, like, hey, that's pretty cool. And I think people might be more inclined to come. Like, personally, I would. Yeah, it's just a suggestion.
Okay, with regards to the hall spirit, and as mentioned, Sem 2 is really a ghost town, and honestly, I feel that's pretty tragic, and it really has a lot to do with the schedule of IHGs, in the sense that sports always take up the first sem, and once the first sem is over, everyone kind of just retires. They don't really care about the cultural stuff. They don't come down for performances or all these kinds of things. And being personally involved in cultural night, I kind of experienced it firsthand, because the turnout was there, but it wasn't as good as it could be. So if the turnout rate isn't good, there are only two real reasons possible. The first is they don't know, and the second is they don't care. If they don't care, then honestly, it's on them. There's really nothing they can do. They have failed the hall. But if they don't know, then it means that as a pubs team or as anyone who's in charge of publicizing the event, it's a failure on our part. And I noticed that was the case, especially for the later half of events. And why I brought up the whole notion of consistency is because the publicity level for different events were very different. And credit where credit is due, SMC did an incredible job. Be it the countdowns, be it the posts, the photos, the wall-to-wall coverage, everything was incredible. And all of this publicity, all of this coverage just died in Sem 2. And we really haven't seen much. Like Drama Fest only really started publicity, on the week itself, which just really isn't enough time. It's not enough time to hype people up. And it got to the extent where I had to ask blockmates to come down because they didn't even know what Drama Fest was, they didn't even know it was going on. And as a media director, that's what I feel, that there really is a problem and only by stepping up the standards of our publicity, by keeping it consistent, by keeping the frequency up, can we try to mitigate this issue.
Hello. I actually agree with Yue Hong's point on the publicity. I don't need to elaborate much, as you really talked about it. But I disagree with the point of if the people don't care, then it's on them. What I feel is getting people involved in port is from the start to the end. It requires stamina, and the seniors plays a part. When freshies move up to be seniors, when they take up head roles, there's usually two types of people. One who just take up the role and then they phantom. The other is they take up the role and then they put in the effort. Okay? So the one who puts in the effort, it's important for these people to know how to pull the freshies out. So it starts right from EHOC. When EHOC, if everybody is able to hype it up, and then after EHOC, is whether we're able to sustain it after. So it takes every committee together, not just publicity side, blog comms, whatever comms involves. They need to pull the freshies out so that they feel part of the hall. And once they do it, it becomes a norm to always go for events. When I was a freshie, we realized that there was a problem. When there was some seniors would tell us, don't need to go on, don't waste your time. Then after that, when we return to senior, then we think about it. This is not right. If we tell our freshies don't come, because it's a waste of time, then no one's going to go for the event, and then the host period is just going to go down. So what we try to do is, wherever there's an event, we tell the freshies, hey, go, go, go. But of course, it starts right from the start from EHOC. If we can cultivate that tradition, then it goes on and on. Okay? Another thing is about seniors who are committed, sometimes they lose steam. Because taking out a leadership role is very tiring, especially for a 1 year long thing. Many of them lose stamina halfway, within 1 sem. Then they die down after that. And the amount of effort they put in also drops. It's important to be able to sustain. And of course, encouragement will be needed also. So it's important that everybody encourage each other, to push each other, to drag each other to come along. It cannot be a one-way thing. Because the person who's always encouraging will also feel very left out and shag out also. Because there's no reciprocation. Another thing, for people or heads who take out the role and then choose to phantom, it's tough to change it, but what we can do is really to remind them to cut a role for a purpose. Not just for your own CCA, but a commitment towards the hall. As much as we can, we try to get them to at least influence their own CCAs or own committees to come, join the events. Okay? We can always cross-publicize. Like Raymond likes to text on the captain's group, pump down your message, tell your team to go and do this, do that, do this, do that. Go for this event, go for that event. I'm not sure whether every captain really does it, but if every captain does it, and then it does in every chat, hopefully I believe there will be at least some impact on every block and every member in Eusoff.
Just to add on to Sean said, I agree that it's actually to bring people to come down for such events is actually a chain effect. Like people will have to drag people and they'll just spread up. So basically, I feel like the leaders should be infectious, not just any phantom. Because like I'll give an example. Like why is D block, for example, so bonded as compared to the block? Like okay, serious honestly. Sorry. Okay, but legit, to be honest, it's very clear cut, very obvious that D block is actually really bonded. And why almost every event D block has close to full strength? I think it comes down to not just the leaders but the people itself also. But number one, of course, the leaders has to be influential and has to play its part and be infectious, and from the start, like what you said, from the start to the end, from EHOC all the way. And it cannot like be a curve, like it starts high and then it drops. Yeah, so it should be consistent throughout. And so I think a lot of this kind of thing has to do with the bond between the Eusoffians. And to do that, of course, JCRC can't micromanage everything, but we can spread the workload to among all the leaders in the committee or the block heads and the block com, which will thus, because the block com usually will be has freshies also in it, and these freshies will help infect the next generation of freshies and the current freshies. Therefore, these people we should choose the right leaders in the first place during the block com session and all that, so that we know who is the right people that can infect other people to drag people down to such events. Yeah.
Okay.
I think all of them made very valid points, and I think we all should, we should start from ourselves lah. like sometimes like as seniors, like now we are considered seniors already, like we sometimes tell some freshies like actually that one not very important or don't need to go. So from there then it kind of spirals into a snow, like a big ball. Then in the end the freshies will just say, everything is just not important when you go. Then I also agree that like the spirit within the hall like kind of died down, which is very sad. I also got talk to my friends about it. Like one example that we were talking about is like last year bash, right? Like it was really fun because I felt that everybody just, I don't know if it was the alcohol or what, but everybody just had fun. Like remember what happened to Sherman? Like even though that time I don't really know Sherman personally, right? But I don't know why, I just laughed and I felt like I know Sherman. You get what I mean? But then for this year batch, there wasn't like this kind of things that happen anymore. Like people weren't as comfortable as with each other, and like people just generally don't know other people outside from their bubble. So like this year have the Kopi meets roti thing, right? Which I think this kind of events we all can have more interblock or like within the comms. Then nightmare within drama and HMC. So like when people get to know each other more, you see faces more, the hall spirit naturally will just get stronger. Yeah, so that's why.
Okay. I think everyone brought up very valid points. I feel that maybe a very big reason would be the timeline of our major events. I'm not sure what the limitations are, but I know sometimes we compare between halls. I know you at home you don't really like comparing halls, but yeah, so just some comparison first. With our neighbor TH, right? I'm not saying that their spirit is stronger than ours or ours is stronger than theirs. I'm not comparing that right now, but I'm saying that I do actually look at how their major events are placed, and then I realized, and then you will realize that like I think that the way they have planned it might actually is poised in a better position to keep the momentum of the hall spirit going on. So, for example, right after their talk, which is our EHOP, they will have their bash, because that is when freshies are the most high. Yeah, and then they'll have their bash and their night cycling, which is still same time as our night cycling. Yes, no problem with that. But they'll have bash then. Then after that, they start to ramp up for IHG. But it's only just IHG, you see. So they'll have IHG, not DP yet. So maybe during that point in time, they do not have to like commit their whole life to hall. They can still study and for IHG training. Then after IHG, you realize that that is when they have their DP, which actually it comes with a slightly short break lah. Then they ramp up for DP. So what I see like when you compare right between like our timeline and their timeline, right, what you see is that theirs is more spread out, where every time maybe people get tired, they give you a short break before you they will up the momentum again, where you have to ramp up IHG. Then after IHG, after all the spirit, you cheer, you spend your time there, you get a break, and then after that you go for a DP. So that's where they keep up the momentum. Whereas for Eusoff, it was really tiring lah. It was really tiring for me as a year one and as a year two, because when I come in, then we have some small events here and there. Then suddenly sports come into play, and then luckily year one I didn't join DP, but then like for people who have a lot of sports and like also DP, then I would say like a lot of them like maybe their grades would have suffered from that lah, because I mean time is a competing factor for the time, which causes you to not be able to study that much. So maybe like after Sem 1, when everyone's grades take a hold, people start to think that I need to like just commit to studies. Sem 2 is my saving grace, and then that's when events like drama fairs or whatever, when they do come up and they put effort to keep up the hawk spirit, and then people just weren't receptive to it lah. And I don't believe that it's the case where they don't know about the events. I think that it's really just about don't care lah. I need to study because like Sem 1 was just too tiring, So I feel that it is the timeline it play a very big part to it. But I'm not sure what the limitations are. Maybe because DPA of Eusoff always has to be at this period or what lah. And that's why I hope that I will be able to have the opportunity to learn more and like to know what I can implement any change in. Another thing is that it's like what you guys said lah.
the spirit that each individual have. So if you come in with seniors telling you that certain events don't really need to go for, slowly you will just become ingrained in you, and then you will start telling your juniors that. And then when the blockhead always try to like, hey guys, go down for this event, and then it's just hard lah. It's really just an uphill battle, because Sean and I we experienced that ourselves. So I think we can attest to that lah. But I think it really just gonna like depend on how we set the tone right at the start of the year, where like there's a very good opportunity like seniors camp for us to like gather the seniors together and like know and spread what kind of like tone we plan to set for the hall in the coming year. So that will be where we can like we hope to bring the mentality of like the more you give, the more you receive kind of thing, so that people really want to take up positions, because that's when they actually get to learn a lot more and to work a lot more with people. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, my take on this issue is that, yeah, I really agree that the support and the attendance for the hall events really has been decreasing. And then you can even see during our IG celebration on the day that we won, on the track event, yeah. And when we won, right, there was really barely any celebration, any sense of pride. It's just like, oh, another day, or another time that we're winning this. Then it's just like, yeah, it's really just no sense of pride lah. Then to curb this is that first we must start with okay, this from a sports point of view, is that SMC really needs to, being the biggest com, you really need to encourage more people of their own members to go for the games themselves outside of their own duty. Then if SMC is the biggest com that is supporting the sports teams and they don't even go down, then how you expect everybody else to go down to support? Yeah, and then also, yeah, like many of us, many others mentioned that the seniors actually play an important role. Yeah, right from EHOP to CCA Fair especially. The seniors need to encourage more people to join more comms, more CCAs, so that they don't really phantom out. Because once they reach that stage, right, you're never getting them back again. Yeah, so, and also the other point about Sem 2 being quite dead, same thing for the point of view from sports is that, especially this year, we have very few fun sessions because most sports don't even have successors, and these successors don't even have points to stay. Yeah, that's why a lot of people are reluctant to hand over. Yeah, so it really boils down to right from the start, when freshies first enter the hall, they need to be in the right mindset that that you should join as many things as possible to, and also contribute to the hall and find a sense of belonging. Thank you.
Hello. So I believe in leading in example. So I do agree that the current hall spirit is definitely not enough, and it can also be seen for Amplitude, which as choir I was in charge of lah. So Amplitude I felt that the turnout wasn't that good, and I felt that many Eusoffers weren't giving enough support to it lah. I mean, it could there's a lot of factors which I don't want to go into now. But I would like to say that what I think can be improved is for the JCRC members to actually be supportive, to attend like everything, all events in hall. So you should show your face, and then you should also be provided a platform to inspire people to come down to, like, okay, let's say for example, let me give you an example I need to think of. But anyway, just think of an imaginary situation where, let's say, in a cultural event, and Amor stood up in front of everyone and say like she can help hype up the situation. Then people will say, oh, I can see Amor is putting a lot of effort into hyping up the cultural scene. Then they'll get inspired by it. And after that, then for the following cultural events, they will be more likely to come down. So I think that the JCRC in charge should always be there for every event and try to inspire people. When people are inspired, then they'll most likely come down for events and everything. So it will help keep up the horse spirit and everything. So that's what I hope. That's what I think. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll have a maximum of 2 more questions after this. So. Okay, so
I have the mic.
Okay.
Very fast. I ask a very simple question to Roy, only Roy. You mentioned in your Facebook profile and as well as your speech that you think there is unfairness in the point system because there's a lot of transferring of points within the committee. Am I right? And you say, okay. I just want to know what do you have planned to resolve this? Thank you.
Yes. Okay, so actually this is something that the current JCRC, right, has brought up to seniors. Okay, so like during seniors camp, which is for the freshmen, if you all don't know, there will be a seniors camp in June. I mean, that's what happened for the past few years, and hopefully it will continue happening. During seniors camp, we actually talked about this, like all the Eusoff seniors lah. So we said like, okay, this points allocation thing, you shouldn't like, or just because people are leaving or people not staying, then you transfer points over to those that need the points. Because, I mean, that's just unfair lah, which people have suffered and are suffering right now because they are so close to staying and they have contributed a lot more than people who are just getting points because their comm heads, CCA heads, whatever, feel like, oh, this person, not enough points, so I just give this person. So this, and the thing is, right, the thing that actually triggered me, which is the reason why I put that out as like on the Facebook thing, right, is the fact that every Eusophian at seniors camp agreed to it, every senior at jail agreed to it, but maybe there wasn't a follow-up, which is what I mentioned. So the follow-up, I feel like there could be a midterm review, making sure that every team captain, whoever has a position, whoever has the power to give points to people, right, they need to be reminded about this. And I feel that this midterm review, putting it in December, right, will help. Okay, so for me, right, what I did for CMC procs, right, if I want to allocate more points to people, right, I need to see that they are doing more work. Okay, so that is something that I told people, okay, to my comm. And I feel like that's okay to tell your people. If you really want more points, right, you need to step out and do more work. And having that in your midterm review for most CCAs, because a lot of CCAs have events in Sem 2 as well. So if the freshmen do feel like they need more points, they should be doing more work. Not just freshmen, everyone. They should be doing more work to deserve these points at the core of it. Yeah, so once the freshmen realize that, oh, I need, like, at this midterm review, right, they realize that, oh, I shouldn't be begging at the end because my seniors are not going to give me those points. I feel like it will contribute to a more fair points allocation at the end of the AY. Yeah. Yes, thanks.
Okay, Ian, you have a question?
This one is for sport PND, SC and directors. Okay, so what do you think is your personal flaw that might affect you in your position? Because you all currently talk about what you can do, what you like the good stuff, but so what you think is personal flaw?
Okay, for myself, I think my flaw would be stubbornness and a bit resistant to change. I'm pretty comfortable with sticking with the norm. And then also, it takes me very long to be convinced of something new because you're just scared of failing at it. Yeah, so I think during this upcoming year, if I was elected as sports D, is really need to explore more options and also to really step out of the comfort zone. Like, don't be afraid to really try, and then even if you fail, at least you know you try your best and all that. Yeah, that's for myself. Thank you.
Okay, I think one flaw I might have is my expectations of balancing my expectations of myself and expectations of people that I'm working with. Because for me, I hold myself to a very high standards lah. Like in whatever I do, right? Like I say in my speech, I want to make the place I entered better than how I entered it lah. You know, like I just want to make everything better than it was given to me. Yeah. So I might overcommit, and because of that, I might expect people to commit more in that sense. So I feel like this may not be a very reasonable thing to expect from everyone, because everyone might have different priorities at different points in time. So I think understanding this is how I will tackle my weakness. Yeah, understanding people's priorities and time.
Hello. Okay. Based on what I'm planning to do, so a lot of things will require actually communication skills, human interaction, talk to people. So I think 2 flaws of mine will definitely surface when it comes to this, and of course I have to look out for it. So the first one is actually being overly straightforward. So sometimes the word I use, especially when I'm talking too fast, I'll be very direct, and sometimes it may not seem very pleasant to the opposite party, especially if the person is not able to accept it. So that's one thing that I have to look out for. Another thing, also over-anxiousness, very kanchong. So sometimes when there's something that needs to be done, I'll be very anxious to complete it. But actually sometimes it really requires some time before you can act on it. Yeah, so that's 2 things that I actually have to look out for.
Personally, something that I have struggled with, and a flaw that I honestly have tried to fix many times, is when it comes to dealing with comm members or other team members that I do work with. And it has been pointed out to me by close friends and by people that I've worked with, is that I have a tendency to be a control freak at times, in the sense that I don't trust the people that are working with me all the time, and I'll have a tendency to check everything, and if I'm not happy with something, I'll just redo the whole thing completely. And while that might fly sometimes for smaller projects, for a large comm, for managing a large project, or even as a job as a media director, that's simply not possible. There is way too much to do, which is why I understand that I will need to learn to trust my comm members, and to that end, I will need to be very careful and very selective about who I pick to work with as well.
I think one flaw I might have is sometimes I might be too emotional, or like taking things personal. Let's say maybe I have a very like an idea that is very good to me. Then if I pitch it out, and then people say like, oh, it's not good, then I was like, oh, what's wrong with me? Yeah, so I think I want to learn and become more objective, right? Yeah, objective. Yeah, and like weigh the pros and cons. Yeah, before doing anything. Yeah.
Okay, thank you guys. Sito has a question, I think. Yeah.
Okay, this is a question to both Amos and Kang Wei, since you are running for Sports D and PAD. In view of trying to excel in both sports and culture, how do you intend to ensure that both goals of bringing both sports and the culture side to greater heights is attained without compromising the other? So stuff for example, both dance and sports needs the function hall, but we only have so much time, or when dance and sports clash in training times. So how do you intend to settle this?
I think this year we did a lot to try to fix that problem. Like for example, I remember this year for dance, right? A few dancers actually went out of the function hall to practice their dance, like the CLBSI, U-Town. Yeah, so they tried to find places outside of hall to actually go and practice, to try to accommodate the sports lah. I think compromise is something that we cannot avoid, but doesn't mean that our quality drops because we compromise. Yeah, so maybe we can try to find more other venues to carry on those activities without saying oh, because I'll do this, then you cannot do that. But we can do just that we both go other places to do. Yeah.
Okay. For issues such as clashes in venue booking is really about just deconflicting way beforehand.
Yeah, and then if it's a scheduled same timing every week, then it shouldn't be that much of an issue lah. And then the other part on the training and like dance clashing, yeah. It would be best if they can attend both, but then it's definitely not possible because everybody, and then also we cannot entertain everybody's training clash or dance clash. Yeah, it's really, yeah. So I guess the only compromise that you can do is really to attend at least one of each per week lah. And then it doesn't really just apply to sports and culture breaks and all that. It's just like all your comms as well. What if there are two meetings concurrently, or what if like something else is, there's a clash? It's really up to the individual's choice in some sense, like which one they prioritize and which one they actually prefer to and willing to commit lah. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Kian has been raising his hands for the past 30 minutes. Okay, sorry, Raymond. Raymond just in.
Okay, since we talk about this whole sports and dance thing, right? It's just a word of caution. Okay, okay, I know culture has been trying to push themselves a lot this year. You see like CMC has grown in portfolio, they have grown in terms of member points, grown in terms of strength and everything, and this year Amor, honestly she has done a very good job, like introducing a lot of things. But don't fall into a trap of framing culture in the context of sports. Like it's not a competition, okay? If you are a sportsman, it doesn't mean that you cannot be a cultural person. And likewise, if you are a cultural person, doesn't mean that you can't be a sportsman. Okay, we shouldn't see ourselves in binary terms. It's not neither nor, or we're not ones and zeros. At the core of it, we're still Eusophians, okay? What I want to caution is, I know sometimes it's very easy to compare, right? Given that sport has all the structures in place and everything, right? There will be a tendency to compare and stuff. But what I hope culture can do is have your own milestones, have your own targets to hit. Because if you're always stuck in this comparison and competition, right? You will never be satisfied because you always feel that your efforts are not being reciprocated. And then if it comes to a day that you feel that you're already on the same level, then so what's your end goal now? Because culture really has a lot of room to grow up, and Amor has really, this year really, you see a very huge jump and push for culture, and we hope that it continues on now. So don't fall in the trap of having to choose a side between culture and sports, because like what Amos pointed out also, it's not just culture and sports, there are comms, there's volunteer work, etc., etc. And all this, we need our own milestones, we need our own path to grow. So don't be tied to someone's standards, but go and pursue your own so they can flourish.
Okay, Kian? Oh, okay, never mind, I'm off.
Sorry. Okay, I think touching on that, right? I think in terms of trainings and stuff, I think one big issue that a few of us have been talking about in terms of culture is like how sports has, like, for example, they get to cut people, but like for culture and stuff, like it's a bit tough to do that. So I think like for the two of y'all here, right, I think it's very important that y'all like what Raymond said, set your own standards, and from moving on from that, like y'all really need to work together. Yeah, as in I'm just assuming y'all get elected lah, huh? So yeah, y'all need to like, have a proper working relationship and communicate, and not just with each other, but down the line too. Like, so I think it's very important that, for example, when you take SMC versus CMC, like forces, right, whatever, like y'all need to make sure that y'all don't say like, oh, FCMC, FSMC, like, wow, cannot. So like y'all really need to like get it from the heart in a sense. Like I think one thing that a lot of people have been talking about in this hall in general, especially when it comes down to like trainings, is that there's a very big lack of love for each other . Yeah, so in terms of comms, like actually I wanted to ask the question but no point really, like it's a bit late. But like I think what our JCRC set out to do this year, right, was to really like, you know, okay, I don't know where you all know the motto if you all don't know that, I don't know why you're sitting there but it's like progress with pride, integrate and unite. Yeah, so like I think it's very important if you all like really truly show each other support. And that comes down, that's very obvious when trainings clash. Like that is super obvious. Like the love for like or the support that you have for each other. Yeah, so I think one thing you all can think about, like when it comes to clashes in timing, right? Do not let it be like, how do you say it? Yeah, something like don't let it be a point of conflict. Let it be something that both of you need to settle beforehand. Both of you need to establish from the start. Yeah, so what we tried to do was like, what me and Raymond tried to do was like, okay, they set an SOP, like this person gets to go for half of the training and then half for like the culture, whatever training or meeting they have . Yeah, and when you set it right, must really follow through. Yeah, I don't know why I'm answering the question for y'all, but like when y'all set it right, y'all need to follow through with it, and y'all cannot settle for any less standard . Yeah, y'all need to make sure, y'all need to be like damn hard about it . Yeah, so that's just like 2 cents worth. Yep, bye.
Okay, Kian.
Hi, I'm Kian. I have a question to Sean and Jue Hong. So, as a media director, you work closely with Eusoff Works. What happens if you have one of your best friend in Eusoff Works as a wing head or a overall head, but he doesn't do well. He doesn't do, and the commitment is not enough. The standard is low. What will you do? Will you kick him or will you wait for him to change?
Hello. Okay. Technically, if he's unable to do work, he shouldn't be in the role in the first place. Yeah. But to address your question, honestly, the first step is really, you can't immediately kick the person. Maybe he needs some push or reminder. So best is talk to him first. After repeated reminders, then at least it's time to school. Okay? Because if he treats you as a friend, you should put in at least a certain amount of effort. To me, right, when it comes to work is work. Friend is friend. Okay? Certain standards still needs to be met. Okay? So if he doesn't do work, talk first. Talk doesn't work, school. School cannot work, then we see how from there. But what I believe, at least in Eusoff, we won't go beyond schooling. But if we really need to replace the person, then it has to be done. Okay? But that will be really to the last extent because it's really very ugly, at least for all Eusoffians to see.
Okay, I think there's actually 2 parts to this question. One is a lack of commitment and one is a lack of standards. Because I think you asked like what happens if he doesn't care or what and his stuff isn't very good. These are 2 very separate concerns that need to be addressed very differently. First of all, I mean, to preempt everything, when you are selecting people for Eusoff Works of all things, you should get people who have the skill set and who have what it takes to work in this comm. If you pick someone who just isn't ready and who doesn't have the skills to do it, then yeah, it's tough it's kind of on you. So as for the 2 separate problems, one being the lack of standards is very simple. They need someone to teach them, they need someone to show them. So to this end, I believe Eusoff Works has actually done a little bit of this. There were a few training sessions, at least for the photog side, to train us how to use a camera and how to shoot. But I mean, certainly a lot more can be done, especially if you realize that someone is weak, maybe his photos really suck, or he don't know how to edit for nuts. So get someone who knows how to do it, tag him to him. Whenever this weaker person shoots, the stronger person goes along and coaches him slowly so that he can do what he does. As for the second issue, which is that he doesn't give a shit or his attitude sucks. Now this is a much more difficult problem to solve. And I'm speaking from experience because as a PD, I have dealt with and I am dealing with people who have a lack of commitment. And honestly, when it comes to these kind of things, everyone joins a comm for a reason. And I would like to hope that everyone joins a comm or joins a CCA because they enjoy it. And if they do enjoy it, and they're not committing, and their attitude is poor, then it tells me that there might be something else going on. So to immediately scold him, to immediately kick him, or to take very drastic action straight away would be a mistake, especially if there's really something out of his control that is hindering his efforts. So get to know him, get to know what's bothering him and what's affecting him. But of course, I am not an optimist, I'm a realist, and I accept that some people join comms for the points, or they just join it and they vent them. And if that is really the case, if you realize that a member is not committing because he just doesn't give a shit, because he doesn't feel strongly for the comm, then that is where, as a leader, you need to be hard on it lah. And you need to either scold or just straight away fire the person, but it has to be a decisive move and you cannot drag it. Because if he performs badly, it reflects bad on the comm and it will slow everyone down as a whole. Yeah.
Okay, unfortunately we have to cut soon, so we'll have 2 more questions at maximum. Okay, can you use the mic?
Oh, hello. Okay, I have a question for Sean and Yue Hong. Because both of you all talk a lot about how you want to make Eusoff publicity uniform, right? I actually want to ask how you are planning to do it. Because the uniformity depends a lot on the responsiveness of your pubs head, the skill level of the pubs heads. So actually, I think uniformity is not that easy to achieve. Yeah.
Hello. Actually, uniformity point is Yue Hao's point. To me, yeah, but that was when I'll talk to you. But after what you told me, right, I went to think again. Like what I said just now when I presented, what I emphasize on is really effort. Okay. Uniformity, what I feel maybe applied, maybe externally. Okay. So when we present to other people outside of hall, so we try to be consistent and set some standards. But within Eusoff, I think maybe we should emphasize more on efforts. Because you can't expect everyone to have the necessary skills. So at least we have to train them and make sure that they put in the amount of effort. Of course, you can't expect very nice work from all the comms. And every comm will have different skill sets and they have their own comm target to hit. Okay, so the role that you can play is already to facilitate the necessary skills for them to learn and also certain guidance. Maybe like a certain style that can suit the comm. Let's say SPT is more for bash, certain style, the formal kind. Or by SMC, it's more sports related, CMC, more art related. So the style is very different. So it really depends on how you manage it.
Effort is definitely important, and I do expect maximum effort from every comm, every head, every pubs team. But that being said, again, it always comes back to standards lah. And it is a very challenging thing that designers do face. The whole conformity versus individuality thing. So I understand that, yeah, I mean, yes, a united front is very important. But at the same time, I know a lot of blogs handle their own publicity, a lot of comms do their own publicity because they want to have their own character, they want to show a certain side of themselves, and to that end, yes, definitely, I want all the comms to have a space to grow, a space to express themselves. But standards need to be maintained in the sense that everything needs to be vetted first to ensure that everything aligns with a common vision. And there has to be a common vision lah. And this can be communicated in many different ways. And just because you want the comms to be uniform, it doesn't mean that it has to be very draconian lah. You don't have to control every single thing down to every single post. It could be as simple as use the same font, use the same color scheme. That's good enough. And from there, play around however you want. And in that sense, you are still creating that uniform aesthetic, you are still creating that united front while still allowing space for all of your comms to do their own thing.
Okay, I think Demi wants to ask a question. Yeah.
Last year. What was the aims of the SAD points? Do you think you hit it, or is there anything you want to achieve?
Okay, so the SAD points. Okay, for those that might not know, the SAD actually has 20 points, like floating that she can allocate to whichever block she feels like might deserve more points. Okay, so what was the aims of it? Yeah, what I just said. And then was it achieved? I mean, she did allocate the points, so I guess it was achieved. But the aim, okay, so as per my conversations with some of the blockheads, right? One thing is like, is these points enough? Okay, which unfortunately I don't think I'll be able to answer that right now because I can't answer just based on block on my because as a SAD, if I were to be elected, I'll focus more on my blocks points. But I'll need to speak with everyone. Okay, because one change, right, is gonna affect whether one person can stay or not. So this really I need to discuss with if I were to be elected, discuss with whoever else is in the JCRC, then we come up with a more fair system. But within these blocks, the allocations, right, I feel like maybe there needs, okay, what I gathered is there needs to be a little more variance in the points between people who have done more work and have not done more work. So this is the general idea that I get from the comments from blockheads that I've got. So unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to give an answer right now, but I will need to, if I do get a role, I'll need to speak to the blockheads to see how I can push their concerns to the JCRC. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, actually, can I have one quick question just for the VPs?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, so you all talk very nicely about supporting a president, which we don't have yet, and supporting a direction of goals. But I'm sure as like the Vice President, I hope that you have your own goals and some impact that you want to leave on the hall and its residents. So I want to ask, right, how has your experience shaped this goal? And how has it helped you to understand the needs of the residents? And in this context, right, in any context, sports, dance, comm, service, how do these experiences or your own qualities help you to meet this need that you recognize or the goal that you've set?
Okay, Vishen, do you mind summarizing?
Okay, yeah, so a quick summary. Quick summary. What are your own personal goals as the Vice President? Because you don't know what the President is going to be like. Nobody knows. Yeah, so you need to have some sort of direction, some goal, some need you recognize in the hall. Okay, so how has your experiences in hall helped you to identify that need or shape that goal? And how have these experiences or your own personal qualities, are they going to help you to meet these needs or your own goals?
Okay. Trevor, has Wesley got that? Okay.
Yeah, I text Wesley.
Okay, by the way, guys, sorry, that will be the last question of today because. Okay, President say one more, so one more, guys.
Okay, if you all need time to think, I just ask first, okay? To both the VPs and the media directors, tell me in one sentence why I should vote for you and not the other person.
Okay, Jack, you can answer Vishen's question first.
Okay, I just clarify, you're talking about personal goals, they're not goals for the hall.
Well, I hope that your goal as a Vice President is for the hall.
Wait, so 2 questions or 1 question? The answer Vishen and then.
We'll let Keith answer first.
I think I mentioned before, like my personal goals for Eusoff was to, because I think the sports director and the performing arts director did a very good job this year, and they actually established both the art scene and the sports scenes really. So my goal was to actually focus more on the smaller parts and smaller details in Eusoff. So for example, like the hall experience. Because I think I'm pretty sure I agree that everybody here had very fond memories of Eusoff Hall, and so I want to build on this through maybe events or whatsoever to give opportunities for Eusophians to build memories. Then so how my personal characteristic is going to help me achieve this goal is that I like to take initiatives. And I mean the fact that I stand here also indirectly to answer Matt's question why she vote for me is because I'm staying here as a freshie, and I experienced hall life freshly in a way, yeah. So my insights on this is actually, and the fact that I'm willing to stand here rather than being afraid to step up and wait for another year just because I'm a year one, shows the difference that I'm willing to and more motivated to make a change this sem rather than wait for another year just because I'm afraid of challenging or stepping up in JCRC thinking that I'll lose to a year 3 or year 4 or year 2. Yeah. Then, so I think my personal characteristics, what I like, not like, sorry, but what I'm good at is if I see a change and I think I can make an impact, I would want to do it ASAP rather than wait. So I want to seize the opportunity and try, even because there's no harm trying lah. Yeah.
Okay, we'll let Wesley answer Vishen's part of the question. Thanks.
And sorry, Keith, a big part of the question was actually about experiences. So you talked about like cultural and sports side, right? But I'm like kind of curious how much exposure do you actually have in these domains lah? Like there's a lot to sports, and it's not just one sport. There's so many sports. There's the training, there's December, there's IHG, there's winning, there's losing. There's a lot. Cultural side, aka, choir, band, dance. It's not just dance. Culture is more than just dance. Okay. So like it's very big lah. Like I'm kind of asking your specific experiences of substance about how you're going to make these things happen. You want people to make memories in hall. What does that mean? Right, everyone's making memories of hall. Good memories, bad memories. How are you going to make good memories?
Okay.
It's okay if you need time to think of that.
Okay, Wesley, you answer first.
The first question is why you should vote for Wesley and give Wesley the vote, right?
No, how his experiences have shaped his goals as vice president.
Yeah. Okay, so I will speak of my experiences lah. So I've been a BlockCom member, where we are in charge of getting the block together, but also for them to be participative in hall events. I was also team captain, where I need to get people to come for training. I need to allocate them points. I need to master these my phantoms. And then I also expert subcon head, where I need to get members to persevere in the project because the year-long process is so arduous, but yet only the final ending is sweet. You know, so with these roles, right, like I think the advantage it brings me is that I really had to empathize with these residents and put myself in their shoes before knowing how I can motivate them to perform and fulfill their need to do well in both their grades and also like enjoying hall as well as having enough points to stay lah. And hopefully that is what I want. And even like being a peer mentor helps. I'm a mentor and I really value this experience because I managed to ground myself and understand how the freshies feel when they are feeling pressured by the commitment. So initially I already stated in my vision that like I hope that Eusoff is like will be a place where people really feel comfortable, a home that they belong to, a team and family that they can depend on, and an incubator lah. So it's really a common experience and the closely knit that like the bond that I really want them to have, and it will not be possible if I do not have all these perspectives that come from many different areas lah. Yeah, and then to answer Matthew about why me instead of Keith. Okay. Yeah, so like basically, all I can say is that I can't say that I'm better than Keith, but I would just say that Keith is a first-year resident, while I'm a second-year resident, and this itself brings a very big difference between us lah. Don't misunderstand. I'm not saying that it makes me better, but I would say it puts me in a greater position than him to do more, because it's more probable that I understand better than him how things are run in Eusoff Hall. Having experienced year 2 in Eusoff definitely makes a big difference, because year 2 is where we get a lot of exposure, the chance to take up leadership positions, to run committees and lead a team towards IHG excellence. You do not necessarily have to take out a leadership position, but even being a senior member in the team will allow you to see things in a very different perspective, and I think that is something that maybe you might lack, especially the difficulties in leading a team or committee. Yeah. So once again, do not get me wrong, Keith since REC and EHOC, right, has displayed a lot of drive in wanting to be more than just a member, and I'm sure I cannot categorize him as just a passive freshie, but also him being a freshie will also bring a very fresh perspective that I may overlook lah, because after a while, you're just more concerned about how like what seniors want out of the hall, and you don't really like empathize with the freshies anymore. But the truth does remain that I can bring a wealth of experience in comparison to him. For example, in a major event that is under the charge of VP Internal will be JCRC, which is the gathering of Eusoff leaders at the start of the year for all the leaders to understand more about views towards leading the hall and how we're going to lead the hall in the coming year. So this will put me an advantage over Keith because I know how things were run before, and I've experienced JCRC before, so I know what can be done better and what can be kept and build on. I can generate my own ideas and drive it in my direction, as compared to him having to just follow a blueprint and depend on what other people tell him JCRC was.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is just an example, Yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right. Just to reiterate the question, guys, in one sentence. Okay. So sorry, Wesley. I don't think that was one sentence. Okay, but thank you.
Sorry. Just so to answer Wishen's question, just to reiterate his question. So you asked what specific experience have I gone through that motivates my personal goal. So yeah, I talk a lot about my memories and experience in hall. So I think of course I'm not that fluent in both arts or sports. But what specific experience I have was, I never joined anything related to dancing or anything related to arts until I came to Eusoff Hall. So I think the feeling that I got after completing DP or DU was something that motivates me and plays a very big role in terms of what I experienced so far in Eusoff Hall. And I want that to be passed down, and I want Eusoffians to know what it's like to feel that way. So yeah, which motivates me again, like I said, towards my goal, which is to build the whole experience. And for sports, I can't say for sure I'm that fluent at sports because I got cut in touch. But I know what it's like to win or lose because I played 18 before in JC. So of course losing is quite sad. I mean, I lost my championships, but I think it's my personal experience, the feeling of losing was something that we can learn a lot from, even though we lost. Yeah. So I mean, not saying that I want us to lose or what, but yeah, it's just that we can learn a lot just because we didn't win.
Keith, sorry to interrupt you. Do you mind summarizing your last point? Just one sentence.
So for sports wise, I don't really have a specific answer in terms of experience, but since we already established a good, very well field in sports in Eusoff Hall, I feel like we should just maintain this high standard we already have, and yeah.
Okay, I'll stop you right there. Alright. Thank you, Keith.
Hi, man. So to summarize one sentence, I'm adaptable, flexible, and there's an alpha side and beta side in this person here.
Ben, I was waiting for you to ask this question. You follow me on Insta, so you and everyone else who follows me on Insta, you all should know my Insta game on point. That's all you should need to know.
Okay. Alright. That will sum up JCRC rally today, guys. Alright. Let's give a round of applause to all our candidates and the guy on the screen as well. Okay. Alright. Just to let you all know, the voting for the candidates will be released tonight at 12 AM, okay? So look out for the link and vote for the candidates who you think deserve for the spot. The details will be out on channel EH on Facebook, Telegram, and your WhatsApp groups, okay? And if you guys don't mind doing me a favor, would you help me move the chairs back to the back of the stage? I would greatly appreciate it if you help my community members out too.
Hey, bye, Trevor.